Imagine this. One of Hollywood's most beloved actors quietly drops a thriller loaded with A-list talent, and almost nobody notices. Sounds impossible, right? But that's exactly what happened with After the Hunt, the new Andrew Garfield and Julia Roberts drama that barely made a ripple in theaters. Until now, because this overlooked film is suddenly getting a second life on streaming, and the buzz around it is growing fast. Today, we're diving into why this movie slipped under the radar, what it's really about, and why its upcoming Prime Video release might be the moment it finally finds the audience it deserves. So sit back, because this story has twists, tension, and a cast that practically guarantees fireworks. Andrew Garfield has reached a point where everything he touches becomes an event. Whether you know him from The Social Network, Hacksaw Ridge, or his return as Peter Parker in No Way Home, he's now viewed as one of the most consistently brilliant actors of his generation. Pair him with Julia Roberts, a Hollywood icon who almost never misses, and you'd expect box office gold. Yet somehow, After the Hunt, directed by Luca Guadagnino, opened quietly on October 10th and walked away with only $9 million. That's not just surprising, it's baffling, especially considering how much hype usually surrounds anything involving Roberts, Garfield, or Guadagnino. But here's where things get interesting. Amazon's not letting this movie disappear. Instead, they're throwing it straight onto Prime Video just over a month after its theatrical release. November 20th is the official streaming date, and insiders say this rapid turnaround has everything to do with the film's split reception. Critics weren't unified. Some praised the performances, others felt the story pushed buttons without offering enough clarity. When a movie sparks debate like that, studios often shift strategies fast. A streaming release can transform a box office stumble into a sleeper hit, especially when the cast has major fan bases. If you haven't heard much about the plot, After the Hunt is far from a standard thriller. It's a layered drama set in the world of academia, focusing on power dynamics, hidden histories, and the messy truth behind abuse allegations. Julia Roberts plays Elma, a respected Yale professor who suddenly becomes the point of contact for a disturbing accusation. Her PhD student, played by Ayo Edebiri, confides in her about misconduct involving a colleague who also happens to be Alma's closest friend and Garfield's character. Immediately, the movie drops viewers into a world where every character is holding back something explosive. The tension doesn't come from action sequences or jump scares, but from the psychological unraveling that happens when trust collapses. Garfield's character isn't portrayed as a cartoonish villain or a clean-cut hero. He's somewhere in between, a man whose past choices ripple into the present in ways he can't control. Roberts, meanwhile, plays a woman torn between loyalty, morality, and fear of what exposing the truth might mean for her career, her friendships, and her identity. Guadagnino uses that emotional conflict as the engine of the entire story, making the drama feel both intimate and uncomfortably realistic. What makes the film so divisive is how deliberately vague it is. It doesn't hand you the truth. It forces you to sit in uncertainty the same way the characters do. You're constantly questioning motives, memories, and even your own assumptions. That style is exactly why some viewers walked out praising its bravery, while others felt frustrated. But love it or hate it, the performances are powerful. Chloe Sevigny and Michael Stuhlbarg round out a cast where every actor brings a different shade of tension. These aren't clean, polished characters. They're complicated, flawed, and wrestling with choices that refuse easy answers. Then there's Ayo Edebiri, whose role shifts the emotional ground beneath the story. Known mostly for her brilliant comedic work, she delivers a controlled, gripping performance here that adds weight and urgency to every scene she enters. Her character isn't simply a victim or a student. She's someone navigating a system that has failed others before her. And that dynamic is where Guadagnino's direction shines. He doesn't just follow the scandal. He studies how institutions bend, protect, or collapse under pressure, and how people negotiate their place within them, even when their own pasts aren't spotless either. So why did the movie struggle in theaters? Timing might be one reason. It opened during a packed fall season, competing with flashier blockbusters and lighter crowd pleasers. Another factor is its subject matter. Films about abuse, academic politics, and moral ambiguity rarely become big-screen hits unless they're tied to awards campaigns. But on streaming, where audiences are more open to slow-burn, conversation-starting dramas, a movie like this can thrive. Just look at Julia Roberts' Leave the World Behind, which exploded on Netflix despite mixed reviews. Prime Video is clearly hoping for the same phenomenon. And honestly, this film is perfectly built for streaming. It's the kind of story that invites pause and discuss moments, or rewatches to catch small details you might have missed. It's also the type of thriller that benefits from word of mouth. Someone posts a reaction on social media, another person checks it out to form their own opinion, and suddenly, the movie that stumbled theatrically becomes a trending title. Amazon knows this. That's why they've positioned the movie right before the holiday season, when people are home, browsing, and more willing to take a risk on something they've never heard of. So whether you're a fan of Andrew Garfield, a Julia Roberts loyalist, or just someone who loves a tense, morally tangled story, After the Hunt might be worth your time this weekend. Don't let the Rotten Tomatoes score fool you. Divisive films often spark the most interesting conversations. And with a cast this stacked, a director known for rich emotional storytelling, and a plot that refuses easy answers, it's shaping up to be a sleeper hit on Prime Video. Let me know in the comments. Will you be watching it? Do you think it deserved more attention? I'll be reading your thoughts, as always.